Everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat. Here at Shiva David, Baruch Hashem. Another beautiful day. Today's Thursday, and we Baruch Hashem. We're reading from the Torah today. Beautiful, and Sasha did Hagba today. Baruch Hashem, right? Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem was wonderful. All right, and we just learned about that yesterday. It's so nice when you put it into practice, right? It's amazing. Baruch Hashem. Okay, so we're learning
I almost lost the grip on the bottom on the right hand. It never happened to that. So there was some non-sync between me and Avi when he was doing that one. So I lost the grip on the bottom on it just for like a split second.
But he was holding it on the top.
Yeah,
so it was okay. And it was a small Sefer Torah, so it's a small one, Baruch Hashem. You got some of those big, the older ones. They're very, very heavy. But these now, today, Baruch Hashem.
The old ones, some of them.
Oh, they were very, very heavy. Very heavy. You had a big,
big, heavy one. They must have weighed 100 pounds.
Yeah. It's amazing. Everything they do, it's amazing. And they make them lighter and they process it better today. It's unbelievable. Baruch Hashem. Good morning, Yaniv. Okay, so again, we always learn for the well-being of the Chayalim and the Chatufim and the Tzuim, right? The soldiers, the captives, and the injured. It's amazing to keep. You think about that. It was so long, right? And these guys are still in captive, and they keep talking about it. Only Hashem is going to figure this out. It's only through Hashem. It's not going to be through anyone. It's not going to be through anyone. We beg Hashem to please bring everybody home. Okay, that's it. Bring everybody home. All right. So we're learning in Likutey Halachos. We're learning Hilchos Kriyas HaTorah, Baruch Hashem, and we're learning Halacha Daled, which is based on the fourth lesson in the second book. Okay. And today we're up to letter Hey. Right, so we're learning all the beautiful things about Monday and Thursday. Right, now we learn something else. Okay, V'ata Mavaya will move on Masha Noigim Ligzot Tainis V'Sheni V'Chamishi La'acha Yom Tov. Right, so there's something called Bahab. Right, anyone here have heard of Bahab? No, Bahab is right. Yeah. Right after Yom Tov. Right, that's when it starts. Right,
throughout the year, all the time.
No, it starts after Shmini Atzeres. Once we finish Shmini, that's when you start the Bahab process. Mm-hmm. Right? Pesach after Pesach and then after Sukkot. Okay, Reisa Shatam Shema Machma Simchas Yom Tov Boyu Lidei Eza Chet Chas V'Sholom. Interesting. In Shulchan Aruch it says, what's the reason why? The Gemara says actually in Kedushin on Pei Aleph Amid Aleph, because maybe we got a little bit carried away with the Simcha of Yom Tov, so therefore we have to do some tshuva. That's what the Gemara says. Okay. But l'chayra, ech shayach ligzer lechashosh kazois halay Simchas Yom Tov hi mitzvah gedolah min haTorah. Wait, hold on. Let's understand this. We know v'samachta b'chagecha. Why? No. Okay, we know. We understand. We're trying to understand. In other words, the mitzvah itself to have that simcha, to be misameach oneself on the Yom Tov is a mitzvah mid'oraisa. Right? We say v'samachta b'chagecha v'yisach sameach. Right? It's a mitzvah. The Yisrael Kedoshim Smeichim Oz B'Hashem Yisbarach U'V'Tayrosei HaKedoshim. We're so happy with understanding the miracles and the different things that cause the holiday, right? And we're so happy with the Torah, and we read the Torah on the holidays and so on. She'asa Imanu Nisim V'Neflois Tzitzanim Mitzrayim V'Nasan Lanu Es HaTorah V'Kaveinu L'Shmei HaGadol. Hashem gave us the Torah, took us out of Mitzrayim. He gave us the Torah. And he Kabbalah Satira. Kumay Shana Waimim Bayamim Taivim Ata B'Chatonu Mikolo Amim. Beautiful words, right? Ata B'Chatonu Mikolo Amim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose us from all the other nations, and the other nations all know that, right? They know that. Ve'eich shayich lachshosh chashosh zoi shema bo lidei chet al yedei chas v'shalom. How are you going to say? How could? In other words, we're trying to understand the Gemara statement, right? The Gemara statement says maybe you did something and you went a little, you got carried away with the simcha, and therefore you'll make the fasts. Okay, but wait a second. We're trying to understand if the whole simcha is a beautiful mitzvah in our Torah, and we're so happy with the Yom Tov, and we're so happy with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Torah, right? We hope that's the case, right? So then why? How could this happen? And now what we learned, that we have the Metzach HaNochash, and we have the other guy, the other side that's always there. So we know, we should know this by now, right? What was the Isgalus HaRatzon? Is the revelation of Hashem's will, right? Isgalus HaRatzon, right? So the whole Yom Tov demonstrates that, right? But we know whenever we're going to have something, we have the other side. Hashem has something on the other side. So the Metzach HaNachash, right? We have Metzach HaRatzon. Metzach HaNachash is up there, he's doing his thing. He's coming up there, he's doing his thing, right? Bebechinas Yitzmach Tzadik ki chaza nokam pa'amav yirchatz. Right? The tzaddik is the tzaddik is happy when he sees the nekama of Hashem. Right? Right? Yisma tzaddik ki chaza nokam pa'amav yirchatz. Right? When he sees in the day. And he can wash, and he could wash his feet, so to say, in the blood of the wicked one. Right? This is what David HaMelech says in Tehillim. Kamavai b'Torah now, and you can see, you can understand that more again in the lesson. Ava yesh kol hachayis roy, shehem kol chachmei hateva shehem roitzim lizgaber keneged kol hakriya shel Yom Tov. Right? So whenever you have the holiday, you have the other guys on the other side, and they're screaming against. No, it's no Hashem, and it's no Rod. It's all nature. What are you talking about? Right? You have the other side, and they're constantly fighting. Right? They're constantly fighting. Right? Yeah. I remember the Yom Tov of Sukkot. I remember in New York, it was funny. We would tell people there's another holiday. What's the holiday? We have the holiday of the hut. What's that?
Holiday of the what?
The huts. You put out a hut. Right? What's that? Oh, Passover we heard about. But the Sukkot, people they don't know about Sukkot. It's interesting.
Tabernacle.
What? Well, tabernacle was more the Mishkan. That was the Mishkan was known.
Call it, I think.
Yeah, the Feast of Tabernacles.
Yeah?
I grew up here.
The Feast of the Tabernacle? And no one they don't understand it. Like, what are you doing this? You're sitting outside. What are you going outside? Okay,
The hardest holiday in the Reform is Shavuos. They hardly do it.
They don't have it.
How can they have a holiday about the Torah? They don't deal with the Torah. So they make something called confirmation instead. They make a big deal out of sending the kids out of school. Confirmation is the end of their religious school training. They do that on Shavuos.
You see that? So you want to see the other side. Here it is. No. Look. See, this is.
That's what I grew up with.
You see that? Wow, the holiday of Shavuos, right?
Because of simcha like that, you need the bahab.
Okay, Shem is Gabrim Chas v'Shalom Ayidei Nishbas Simchas Yom Tov. So that it causes the symptom of Yom Tov to go there, right? We have a problem with it. Now we were worried about the thing that the other side got into us, and we're supposed to be so happy. But like Rav Shalom said, it depends how you did it. Right? It depends how you did it. Hashem always has everything in the world balanced. He keeps everything balanced. Whenever there's good and bad, is always going to be balanced. Always balanced. Whenever the side of holiness comes up, so the other side goes up too. Right? If the holiness goes up, the side of impurity goes up as well. So the time of a Yom Tiv, right? So you have an influx of purity, right? There's an influx of more purity in the world, right? So of course the other side is going to get stronger as well, right? You understand the concept, right? You understand the concept? Okay. V'chol zman shehoise kedusha nocha v'loi his gabra legales harotzen. And when the kedusha is so to say relaxed, right? You're not misgabel. You're not, and his gabras agala. You're not demonstrating the kedusha, right? You're not promoting the kedusha, so to say, right? Hayu gam heim nochim sitting there. They're relaxed. The other side, right? When we're relaxed, so the other side's relaxed. Aval takev kishamaschilin lizgabe his galas harotzen. Oh, but whenever there's a revelation of the rotzen Hashem in the world, azay maschilin gam heim lizgabe. They also go. This is a beautiful concept to understand. In other words, when it comes to the Yom Tov, there's more kedusha, but you have to always be wary that the other side is there, lurking, trying to zap that kedusha from the person. Right? In other words, again, the whole purpose is like this. You're to be misameach on the holiday is recognizing, like for example, we had the holiday of Sukkot, right? So you sit in the Sukkah, you have to remember two things, right? You have to remember the Ananiya Kavod and the actual Sukkot, right? Hashem said, right? Sit in the Sukkah. So if you're just sitting there and you're just eating really good, but you're not paying attention to what's going on at all, right? You're sitting outside. I'm eating outside, right? And you're not paying attention. So all of that's not real simcha. That goes to the other side. It's only when you recognize what you're doing, right? You recognize what you're doing. Then it becomes a sin. That's when it goes to the side of Ratzon. When you recognize Hashem, again, it's always about recognizing Hashem with what you're doing. Right? A person can be happy. He's sitting there eating his nice steak and his everything he likes, and he has his drinks and everything is good. He's happy. But does he remember Hashem? Or is he just thinking about his steak? You understand? That's the point. So the other side, whenever there's something of Kedusha, when Shabbos comes, right? So you have to remember Shabbos. This is Hashem told me I'm eating the Suda of Shabbos because Hashem wants me to eat the Suda of Shabbos. Yes, I also want to eat the Suda. I'm also hungry, of course. But try to think of Hashem while you're doing the mitzvahs. Try to think of Hashem. And they start to, they learn, they shout out pretty good, right? כשאחד משכיל לזכר בעזאי מחזק השני כנגדו ביוסר כמבואי במוקם אחר. Here, you got two people are fighting, right? You have two people are actually a physical fight. So one guy gets a little more adrenaline and he pops the guy. So the other guy's, he gets more energy and he pops him again. Right? When two people are fighting, right? So if they're fighting, one guy gives him a good zetz, so the other guy says, oh yeah, and he gives him a zetz back, right? Unless he gives him such a good one, he's knocked out. But you understand, that's how it works. In other words, the same idea, the same as right? It's everything is always balanced, and if one gets stronger, the other one gets stronger. If he gets stronger, I'll get stronger. You understand? And that's the system that it works. Do you understand this concept? This is a very, very important concept. This concept is actually every single day. Anytime you're working on Kedusha, the other side is going to be lurking in the background. And anyone that's working on it, they understand this. Right? So like we say, Ameivin Yavin, right? Ameivin Yavin, right? The guy that's really dealing with this, he understands this concept really, really well. Valkein, Anu, Misyorin, Acha Yomtiv, Shema Mitoich Simchas Yomtiv, Boez Pegam. Oh, maybe he was involved in the Simcha, he was doing what he could, but maybe some things he didn't get exactly right. Some things he forgot about Hashem while he was, and that's very possible to happen. In other words, again, we are human beings and we try our best. We try our best. And Hashem knows that. Hashem knows that we're gonna, you can't be on your game 24/7. So you slack off a little bit. Happens, right? Hayne Shema mitay simchas yontiv shebo al yedei kol hakriya shel yontiv mizgalas harotzen shema yedei zeh daika ba eze pegam chas v'shalom ki machmas is gabas is galas harotzen zeh ikar simchas yontiv. Right, because of the great yontif, right? Because of that great yontif, Yochaliyah shesimcha zeh is gabe keneged kol hachayis rois. It's going against your simcha has to overpower the other chayis rois. Like the same way we learned yesterday with the Kriyas HaTorah, right? Why we do the Hagba, right? Remember yesterday we were trying to understand that, right? So in other words, we give tzedakah, right? That's why he said you give the Hagba and Galila for good money. Why? Because you give the Hagba and the tzedakah gives them a good zetz. You knock them down. You knock the metzach anochash down. You knock them down. But how do you now pronounce the kedusha again? You knocked him down, so you pick up the Torah. Pick up the Torah. Now I picked up the Torah. Now I'm putting the other. We got the side of kedusha was just lifted up. Remember we said that, right? And use the hands. The same idea. Ad shenichnas eze machshava roa chas v'sholem shenmeshechnas mideis chochmas hateva. Until the guy gets some kind of a thought in his mind, right? Some kind of thought. And where do we say the thought comes from? When the person loses, no. When he loses he doesn't have his emunah is not exactly right. Right, he has the pagam and the emunah, right? He doesn't exactly have the emunah right. So then the other thought, that's the entrance way that the other thoughts can come in. Okay, ki machmas his gaber kol kedusha shel yomtiv his gaber heim kenegdam. So they're on the other side and they're doing that. And I think you can see that all the time, right? The person, let's say it comes Leil Pesach, right? Great, beautiful, holy night of Pesach, right? So there's always so many things that come up. You have to say that you plan on this and you plan that, and then the next thing, all these things are else is happening, right? Ever happen like that to you, Yana? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's where it comes from.
Even at a hotel, it happens.
For sure, in a hotel, it's going to happen. For sure, it's going to happen.
It sounds like you have to always be active. You cannot be passive.
No passive. No.
If you're passive, that's when
you lose. You lose. Right.
This is like a constant simcha that you have to have, which is very hard.
It is, but no. It is, but once you, but no. But once you get involved in it, it's the greatest thing.
Right. I know it's a good victory. But if you're not winning, you're losing.
No, of course, that's exactly right.
There's no equal. There's no.
Well, listen. You could talk to any of the plugot here, and you talk to the chayalim that they go out there. They're doing that in real life.
Yeah.
They can't take it. They can't take a break. They take a break. It's over.
Right.
It's the same. It's
the same thing.
It's the same thing. It's no difference. But that's physical. This is spiritual. Right, this is spiritual. That's physical. Okay. Balken anu goizim tainish sheni v'chamishi acha yontiv sheni v'chamishi daika, specifically those days. Oh, those days, because those days are the days that have a little more kedusha in them. So we'll make the fast on those days in order to kihem yemei rotzon shebehem kibel Moshe luchei sachroinus. Right, we know when Moshe Rabbeinu was going up to Shemayim, to heaven, on Mondays and Thursdays in the last 40 days, right? During the time of Elul and during the time of Aseret Yemei Tshuva, and he came actually down with the Luchos, with the second set of Luchos on Yom Kippur. He came down with them, right? And what was the whole idea? What was he doing? He was fixing the pagam of the ego. Which was what? That was against Rotzen, right? That was against the Metzach HaRotzen. That was mamash the Metzach HaNachash, right? Okay. Al Kain, Al Yedei Tainus, Shal Sheni V'Chamishi, Mizgabe Oras HaRotzen, Ministakin, Simchas Yomtov, Shenimchach HaYedei Eskalas HaRotzen. Okay? So therefore, through the fast, again, you subdue the other side. Again, and that's another thing to remember. When any time we're fasting, people always get so carried away that they can't eat. They forget why they're fasting. That's another thing, right? Even the guy's fasting, And it's just thinking, oh, I didn't have my coffee, or I didn't have this, and I have a headache, and this and that. He's not thinking at all of what's the purpose of the fast. The purpose of the fast is to bring the person to tshuva. What?
Another 5 hours.
Another 5 hours. Right, there we go, right? They're not thinking. The whole point of the fast is to bring someone to tshuva. Right? That's the whole point. Right? And again, tshuva is coming back to Hashem. There you go. That's another example. Okay, ki ika metzach hanocha shinikosai minocha shakadmaini. Okay, the metzach hanocha gets his power from the nochash hakadmaini. That original nochash that was with Chava in Olam Haba, right over there in Gan Eden, right, where he seduced the Chava, he tricked her, and all of that stuff, all came from the nochash hakadmaini. Skaber al yedei chet upagam achila. Okay, what was the first pagam? Now, why are we fasting? Why should you fast? Oh, wait a second. What was the first mistake that was made? Through eating. They ate from the tree. Oh, ate from the tree. Okay. Ate tzadas toivara. Shehu bechinas is garbus chachmas hateva ki adam arishan kofa beikar. Because Adam Arishan was kaifer beikar. He was a kofer. He was a heretic. Why? What did he say? The Nachash told him, Hashem doesn't want you to eat from this tree, because if you eat from this tree, you'll also become a god, and then Hashem will have competition, and he doesn't want competition, so don't eat from the tree. Unbelievable. And again, where did the Nachash have the right to say that? We learned from the Maimon Bereshis, right? Bereshis. Right? Bereshis was the 10th statement, the first of the 10 statements that Hashem made Susam. Right, you didn't know it was a statement, and that's where all of this stuff came in from that place. Of course, you can fix the pagam of achila when you're fasting, right? That's the opposite of eating, right? The opposite of eating is fasting. Was miskabe oras harotzen. Of course, the light of rotzen, of the rotzen Hashem is strengthened. Ki bahem kibel Moshe aluchos achronos. That's how Moshe Rabbeinu got the luchos achronos, the second set of luchos at that time on Mondays and Thursdays. Shein bechinas tikkun chet ha'egel hu pagam harotzen, which is the pagam harotzen. So now we understand. So why are we doing it on Monday and Thursday? Because that's the days that have more rotzen in them. That have more kedusha in those days, and Mondays and Thursdays. Why is it a fast? Because we're going against the Metzach HaNachash. Where's the Metzach HaNachash connected to the Nachash HaKadmaini? Where was he connected to? The Eitz Hadas Toivara, which he caused them to eat. So therefore we fast to fix that original chait at that time. Okay, and we're doing that now. V'alkein koyrim behem vayichal shehu tfilas Moshe tizpala lahamtik akas v'acharon af al chet ha'egel. Right. So during fast days, right? During regular fast days, so we read Parsha Vayichal, right? It was talking about the whole idea of Moshe Rabbeinu with quelling the anger of Hashem over the Jewish people, correct? V'al yedei zeh bitel hakas v'hopchay l'rotzayin v'himshich ha'aretz ha'rotzayin shezeh b'china shalish esrei midas shal rachman shenizgale lo yoz. Right? So again, we got because of the chait of the egel. And Moshe Rabbeinu was able to be Mizgala the Ratzon. He was able to quell the anger of Hashem. Hashem revealed to us through that the Yud Gimel Midas Arachim. It's fascinating to understand that without the Chet Egel, we wouldn't have had the 13 attributes of mercy. Isn't that amazing? We got the 13 attributes of mercy only came because we made a mistake, a big mistake, right? Shekoirin oisam b'yoyim ataynis, and we read the Yud Gimel Midas Arachim on the days of Ataynis, right? On the days of Ataynis, you read Hashem Karachim Echan, right? You read in the parsha, right? Ki sholish esrei midas shel rachmim heim b'chinas harotzon. Of course, that's the rotzon of Hashem. That's mamish that you're showing them compassion, the mercy of Hashem in the 13 attributes of mercy. V'al kain heim sholish esrei midas kineget tlasa tetukne dedikna. They're against the 13 points of the beard, right? Again, we keep going back to that, right? There's 13 points of the beard connected to the 13 principles of mercy, right? Kayadua, you have that in the Tikkunei right? The Shleish Esrei, right? That's the okay. Shezeh bechinas zokin the kedusha, and that's the idea of the zokin the kedusha, which we said goes against the ziknei rishoyim, right? The ziknei rishoyim, those are the guys that are just get old grumpy people. Right, they get older. Right, they get grumpy. Why? Because they realize I squandered my entire life away. So they're always going to be grouchy. They're always on edge. Right, but a person that was working constantly to get closer to Hashem during his life, so that person is a person that's going to be very calm and a very, very nice and a very refined person. Right, that's the ziknei the kedusha. Okay, now kam hatainis hu bechinas tzedakah bechinas agra de tanisa tzidkasa. Right? How do you like that? The ikar, the schar of the tainus, of the tainus is the tzedakah that you give on that day. Right? The tzedakah that you give on that day. Right? I know that the Lubavitcher Rebbe would say that a person should give, if he gives a day, what he would like to, what he would eat in whatever he would spend on his money to buy food for that day.
That's what you should do.
Yeah, because if let's say a person would spend, I don't know, let's say in dollars he would spend $10 or $12 or $15, whatever for his meal, for his food in the day. I'm not talking about going to fancy restaurants or things like that, but just basic things to buy, whether you need to eat. So make sure you give that away. Give that money to as tzedakah. Give that away. K'moshe Kosov ba'Torah Dorshu Drishu Likutey Maran, right? You could learn this in the Likutey Maran in Chelik Aleph Ayin Sham. That's the first, right? Oh, unbelievable, the first Torah, right? Find this. You have to find the seichel b'chol davar, right? Find the seichel in everything. Shayidei tzedakah hachnos metzach hanachash. Again, we learned that yesterday when it came to the idea of the Hagbah, right? You're knocking the tzedakah knocks out the metzach hanachash. Anytime we give tzedakah, and again we give it for the right reason, right? We give the tzedakah because we know it's a mitzvah of tzedakah. Not that I feel sorry for the person, right? Some people give tzedakah because they feel sorry for the person, right? Right? Could you imagine this? Right? Picture this: you got yourself a nice sandwich, and you're in the park, and you're sitting down eating your sandwich, right? Next to you sits down this other guy that's a homeless guy. Sits down next to you. And he's looking at you. Looking at you, right?
He's looking at your sandwich.
He's looking at your sandwich, looking at you, right? So how are you going to sit there and enjoy your sandwich? It's not going to work out too good, right? So what do? You go and buy the guy a sandwich, right? You go get him a sandwich also. Now if he has his sandwich, now I can eat my sandwich and enjoy it, right? So why did you give the tzedakah in that case? Not that you wanted to help the guy, you wanted to enjoy your sandwich. Right? I'm just giving you a blatant example, okay, of what it means to give tzedakah, for not because I feel compassion on the other guy, or you see the guy is down and out and you just feel bad for that and you give him the money. You have to give him the tzedakah, realize that I'm doing a mitzvah. Hashem told me to give tzedakah. Oh, I feel bad for the person? That's okay. But I'm doing that. What am I really doing? I'm doing it to do the mitzvah. You understand the difference? It's such a you're doing it anyway.
Like any other mitzvah.
Any mitzvah. No, but here we're saying if you want to go against the metzach hanochet, you got to do it right. Right? Because else you'll give the tzedakah away and he'll take that away from you too. So now you don't have your tzedakah, you don't have your money, and you don't have the credit for it. You lost your credit. He took everything from you. So that's why it's so important to know when you do a mitzvah, you do it for the right reason. Remember that I'm doing this mitzvah. Hashem wants me to do this. Right? Bring Hashem into everything.
It seems like if you're doing it for the right reason, you're doing it for the wrong reason. That may not make sense, but it's like sometimes I feel like I'm doing something, like putting on my tali because I want the protection from bad advice from the snake.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
But why are you putting on your towel? You say you make the blessing. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, right? You say you're talking about Hashem in the blessing, right? Why do we have a blessing there? To remember, remember Hashem.
But I can do blessing and not be remembering Hashem, even though I'm saying the word.
I understand. Okay, listen, I understand. You can do a lot of things. You can put on the towels without making the blessing. I understand that. But the point is to think of Hashem when you're making the blessing. That's the point. Tzedakah is unique. You don't have a blessing when you give tzedakah. Tzedakah is a unique mitzvah. There's no l'shem yichud, there's no nothing. Because again, it depends on how you're going to do it. You may not give it, you may give it, right? Or whatever happens, you never know, right? Or you may not give it for the right reason. This is no bracha on tzedakah. It's interesting, right? Such a great mitzvah, but there's no bracha on it. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Right? Al mitzvah tzedakah. They don't have a blessing like that, right? But you could think. No, but you could. It's an actual mitzvah. Yes. It's one of the 613. Give tzedakah is one of the 613 mitzvahs. Yes. Everyone says that. There's no one. Everyone says tzedakah is a mitzvah from the Torah, right?
No, I mean being b'simcha is also a mitzvah.
We have that in the Torah. Yaakov Avinu says asher tisasher, right? Like, Yaakov Avinu says that you take care of me. I'll make sure to give my ma'aser. Right? He tells Hashem, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ma'aser and tzedakah are different things.
I understand. Okay, but ma'aser is also tzedakah. If you give it for ma'aser, I'm giving it for the mitzvah of ma'aser, but I'm also giving tzedakah. You're taking a lot of people don't give the ma'aser, right? Unfortunately, yeah, I understand. So when you're doing the ma'aser, I'm giving the ma'aser, I'm also giving tzedakah. Right? When the ladies used to take off to do challah, and they would give it to the Kohen, that was tzedakah. It was challah, but it's also tzedakah. Anything you take from you and give it to somebody else is tzedakah. Right? Take money, give it to the shul, that's tzedakah. Take money, give it to a person, it's tzedakah. Right? Take anything that you have, food. Take a sandwich that you take out of your house, you give it to a guy, that's tzedakah. Right? Right? But to remember, yeah.
A Kohen is baking bread, he also has to give up challah.
Yes, he does. Yeah. It's amazing, right? He would take a little piece from everybody. And he had a very interesting challah, right? Could you imagine? Right? The Kohen, right? He had everyone brought him a piece of challah, and he put it all together.
Things. My wife does challah. I can bring it.
No, we don't do that. Today we don't do that. Today we burn. Today we burn them. We don't do that.
Like once a year.
Once a year? What do you do with it?
You just like store the whole thing there.
Really? Oh, wow. Okay, my wife does it every week. Whenever she bakes challah, she always burns it, puts it in the toaster oven.
Okay.
The alarms don't go on?
No, it doesn't burn like that. I mean, it just gets crunchy, and then you can't use it. Throw it out and cover it up and throw it out.
I threw it in the comments.
Okay, that's good. Okay, but that doesn't burn that well. Okay, anyway, we're getting off the thing. Okay, therefore, now we understand why they set up the instituted the Bahab, the Mondays and Thursdays fasting after the holidays, after Pesach and Sukkot. Why? Because again, during the holiday, even though the whole Yom Tov is his galus haratzon, right? We're connecting to the Torah, we're connecting to the beauty of the Yom Tov. But we learned that whenever you have an increase of kedusha, the other side is going to increase just as much. The same way we said, like when two people are fighting, Reb Nosson brought down to us, right? That when two people are fighting, one guy overpowers the second guy, the other guy gets a little more adrenaline, and he zaps him back, and that's how it works. And that's what we're.
On the other hand, if you don't do too much kedusha, you don't put too much work in, you don't do too many mitzvot, you don't.
There's not going to be on the other side. It won't be sure right. You'll be the other guys won't. Because we said we just learned zeluma also likim. So I
don't want to poke a sleeping lion. Just maybe stay in my little Dalet Amod, my zone. I won't upset you.
But he's going to still attack you. So if you're on that level, he'll still he won't. You don't grow. He doesn't grow.
Yeah.
But he'll still bother you where you're at. He'll still bother you where you're at. He's not. The Yetzer is not going to leave a person alone. You think he's going to leave a person alone?
No.
The Tanya says that he will after a while that the guy just keeps doing it again and again. Sooner or later, then the Shama says that I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm out of here. And he says then that person's living with his nefesh Bahamas only.
huh? Oh, you're on your own now.
Yeah. He's acting like an animal, so okay, go ahead. Yeah. And you see that, unfortunately, you see people like that. But we're learning over here why did the Gemara say that after when it comes to after the holidays you're supposed to institute the Bahab, the Beis Hay, right? Every time on Mondays and Thursdays you should institute a fast because maybe you had a kilkul in the kiddu in your simcha. Oh, wait, so he said, how could you have a kilkul in your simcha? What's going on? You're connecting to Hashem. Oh, well, that's very simple. Because when the Yom Tov comes in, there's more Asgalas HaRatzon. So the Metzach HaNachash gets a little stronger as well. Right? The Asgalas HaRatzon, Metzach HaNachash gets stronger. So then, therefore, he may have caused you when you're enjoying your holiday, and you're enjoying everything, maybe you did a little bit for some other reason, not because you were being there was not through the simcha of the Yom Tov itself. So therefore, they instituted fast. Why a fast? Because the Metzach HaNachash is connected to the Nachash HaKadmoni. He gets his pay. The direct deposit comes from the Nachash HaKadmoni. Right? Why was he? He was the one that caused Adam Arishon to be kaifa bigger by eating from the Eitz Hadas Tovara. So therefore, I want to nip the Nachash HaKadmoni in the bud. So what I do is I fast. By a fasting, what am I actually doing? I'm actually taking away. I'm making a repair for the Pagam of Achila. Right? That's the Pagam of Achila, right? Why do I do it on Mondays and Thursdays? Because Mondays and Thursdays has more Galas or Ratzon than all of the other days. Those are the days that Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Shemayim before he brought us down to Luchas Shnias. Right? He was going up to bring us down to make the tikkun for the Egel Azov. Right? And that's how we got the Yud Gil B'midas Arachim. So now we finished. This is we just finished now. What do you call it? This halacha Dalit. All right, and then he says now that halacha hey, we finished halacha Dalit. Halacha hey, we already learned in the priestly blessings. Right, in the Siyas Kapayim, we learned that in the priestly blessings. Baruch Hashem, that was in halacha hey. We learned it over there. Okay, so notice every time Reb Nassan, always whenever we're going through Likutey Halachos, he always introduces things from the things that are coming up, right? And then so that was over there. We're going to start in Mitzvah Hashem tomorrow. We're going to start halacha vav. Okay.
To go with something that Yossi was saying, it goes in the other direction too. Like someone said to me one time, he said, "Why should I follow Rabbi Nachman? He was suffering his whole life."
Yeah.
You know, and then I thought, well, he was happy suffering though, because he was saving people.
Yeah.
But yet, in a sense, it's like, I thought one time, why do I want to keep doing this? I'm just going to be suffering more and more.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like what Yossi said in the opposite direction.
Well, it's just that, like, you would think strengthening your mido tovo will weaken your yetzer hara.
Right.
That's not true.
No, he gets stronger. You get better. He gets better.
I'm just like again. That's what I mean. Like I'm being a champ as it is.
Well, that's what the Gemara says. And when the tzaddik and the rasha go to Shemayim, so they say the rasha is going to show him like a cup of milk that had a hair in it, and that's all his yetzer hara was. And he's going to cry that I couldn't accomplish overpowering this yetzer hara that was just like flicking a hair out of the cup, right? And then the tzaddik is going to see this big mountain, and he's going to cry. Wow, how did I do this? Hashem, you helped me to get over to this giant yetzer hara that I had. Amazing, right? Listen, Yossi, but look at one he accomplished and he didn't accomplish.
Yeah, because it comes to suffering. I mean, that's life.
That's life.
Yeah.
That's
It
life.
can be depressing at times.
There's nobody you're not gonna.
Great Yontif doesn't want to all of a sudden now worry about getting attacked by the Nachash.
So that's what we say. So go get
trying to connect to the kedusha of the day.
Right.
And now all of a sudden he finds himself, being hit from different sides when he was in his own little bubble. And
But that bubble is a bubble that's gonna pop. Bubbles pop, right, Yossi? I ever see them, right? They're nice big bubble. Okay, listen. this is a wonderful understanding of really things in life and how things work and how the Yetzer Hara is always. Why does he come? Why is he overpowering us sometimes? And not like most of the world thinks. Most of the world thinks that the Yetzer Hara is so strong, so that means I'm terrible. No, he was saying differently. No, if the Yetzer Hara is so strong, that means you're doing good. That means you're doing good. You understand? That's what it is. The Yetzer Hara is strong. That means you're doing good, and that's why, because your Kiddush is higher, therefore your Yetzer Hara is higher. Okay? And then you just have to realize it's always going to be Zelu Mazeh Aseh Lekim. Whatever level you're at, it's always Zelu Mazeh Aseh Lekim.
They say that about addictions also. Like if you're not constantly working on your addiction, your disease is going to come and haunt you.
Okay.
You're not constantly active.
You have to be right. You have to be.
Working on it.
You can't be passive. You have to be active.
I'm not going to go to this meeting or that meeting or.
Oh, yeah, then.
You're done. You're finished.
That's right. You said that's how it works. Okay, let's see something in Hilchos Tefillin now. We're learning the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. We're in Halacha Yud, and today we are up to, I believe, Zion. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is an interesting case. What happens? You're traveling or whatever the case is, and you realize you don't have your pair of tefillin. You don't have your pair of tefillin, right? It can happen sometimes. Right. Okay, it happens. Okay, here we go. Okay, Yizor, look what it says. The Yizor betfila shel yad shel lo yozes hakesher min abayis. Here's a very important concept here. On the shel yad, you have the little yud, right? You have the little yud. Right on the shell yad, you have the yud that goes that's tied with the knot, right? So that little yud has to be connected to the bias. It has to be it can't be it shouldn't be separated from the bias. It should always be nice and snug up against the bias. Today, sometimes the Seifrim, they take a piece of the snooze, they take a piece of the thing they use to sew the tefillin, and they'll tie a piece around it to keep the yud attached to the bias. You ever see that?
Yeah, I have it.
Right? Yeah, that's very good. It's very good. This way the yud doesn't get separated from the bias. V'gam kishem b'soich kison tzrichin lizor b'zeh, even when it's in its bag. In other words, you should never have the yud separated from the bias. Always keep the yud connected to the housing of the tefillin. Okay, got it? Okay, now look. V'ayud shel hakeshet tiyah litzad halev. Oh, and the yud should be towards your heart. So we said we put the tefillin on, a righty puts it on his left arm, right, by the muscle, right, and the top of the muscle, and you turn it in a little. Right, so that way the yud is on the inside and it's towards the heart. The bias and the yud is towards the heart. Okay, now but look at this. V'ayud shel hakeshet tiyah litzad halev, amabarta asher bo haritzua tiyah litzad mala. So on the tefillin, we learned about the tator. That's the bottom of the tefillin, right? The mabarta is the little opening, the tunnel that's there that the ritzua goes through. Right, you put the ritzua, the strap goes through the box, right? So that, where the strap goes through the box is called the mabarta. It's ma'aver, it crosses through, it goes through the tefillin, through that thing. Now, that's supposed to be on the top. So in other words, it's supposed to be towards your head, right? It's towards your head, and the bottom of the tefillin, the opposite side, is supposed to be going towards down. Now, you understand what we're saying here? I mean, it's very simple. You always put your tefillin on. That's how it is. Now he's going to explain. Why is he explaining this now? Lamala. Okay. V'abayis litzad mata, and the bias should be facing downward, right? The mabarta is up where the strap is, and the bottom of the box is facing downward. Ubeshas hatchak. So what do you do in that case when you're in Sweden, right? Or wherever you are, wherever you find yourself? Kigoin itar. You have a guy that's a lefty. Right, you got a lefty. Shehu meniach biyamin, right? He normally puts the tefillin on his right side, right? Because a righty puts it on his left. You always put on the yad keha, we learned. Remember, the weaker arm, right? So the weaker arm for a righty is his left hand, but the weaker arm for a lefty is the right hand, right? So normally a lefty puts on his tefillin on his right hand. We have any lefties here? Anyone's a lefty?
No, everyone is pretty extreme right.
Oh, pretty right?
I mean, that's why I like the halacha we learned, because I write with my left hand, and so that's considered pretty much a lefty. But
You're an
everything else I
eater.
do is with my right hand. Throw righty, I bat righty. My right hand is stronger. So the sock that I got, as I remember, I hope I'm wrong, was to put on tefillin as if I'm a righty, which means on my left hand.
Yeah, because your right hand is more dominating.
Even though
you write with your left hand,
right.
but that's why you don't write too much today anymore, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can go and be okay now. Ve'ata ein loy tefillin ela misha meniach besmol. Right? You don't have. Now you came to this place, right? And you're a lefty, and the tefillin that they give you are for a righty, right? He goes on, he wears it on the left side. Hey, wait a second, what do I do? Or he says, it can be the other way around. Right, you're a righty. You put it normally on your left hand. You're traveling. You're somewhere. You find yourself, and they only have a lefty pair of tefillin. What do? Right? He says akesha. You're not going to sit there and now untie the tefillin, right? You're not going to untie it, right? You're borrowing it. You're not going to untie it and then tie the knot on the other side, because you could. That's the only difference, right? The bias. It's the same housing. It's the same abarta, the same tator, the same baya. Everything's the same on the righty and the lefty. The only difference that changes is where they tie the yud. Do they tie the yud on the right side of the box, or do they tie it on the left side of the box? If they tie it on the left side of the box, that means you're putting it on your right arm, right? They tie it on the right side of the box, that means you're putting it on your left arm, because you always want to turn it towards your heart, right? So if it's on the person's right arm, so the yud will be on the left side, so that way it'll be towards his heart that way. Right? If it's on the left arm, it's going to be on the right side towards the heart. Got it? You understand?
But it's still probably better to use a lefty's tefillin if you don't have something.
No, wait. Hold on a second. No, you can't put it on the wrong hand. You can't. No, you can't do that. No. Wait. Watch. The im kain im yaniach beoifin zeh hamabarta litzad mala v'abayis litzad mata. So now if the guy takes you're a righty and you loan it to a lefty, and he puts on the tefillin your tefillin on his right arm. So now the yud is going to be facing outward. No, that's no good. That's no good. No good. Tia hayud hakeshel litzad chutz. It's going to be on the outside. No good. Al ken yahapach v'yanichem abarta shetia litzad mata v'abayis litzad mala. Take the tefillin and turn it around. Take the tefillin and turn it around and put it on that way. So that way the mabarta now, the tunnel, will be on the bottom, facing the bottom. The bias will be facing upward. But the yud will be in the right position. And that's the main key thing, that the yud is always facing towards the heart. You got it? This is a cool thing, right? So now you learned something new, a trivia question. What does a lefty and a righty do? No one would ever think of that. They'd say, well, put it on the other hand. No, that's going to work, because then the yud's going to be on the outside. Can't do that. So take the tefillin, turn it around, so that way the yud will be facing in towards the heart. Okay? Kedei she'ayud kesher litzad halev will be towards the lave, and that's how we'll end with that halacha today.
You can put it on, like if I take I'm backwards with lefty and righty, but if I just put it on this, if I'm a lefty.
Interesting halacha today, Yossi. Nice. You like that?
Yeah.
Did you think that was going to be the answer? All right.
Necessarily, but
Everyone, I want to wish everyone a wonderful day, and wish you here B'sorah Tova.